Rulani
Yeah.
at Orlando Pirates.
I plead the fifth.
Rulani,
Rulani at Orlando Pirates.
I've got time for Rulani. I think he comes across very well when he talks about the game. He's clearly very educated in the game. He's almost giving you a lesson every time you listen to him in an interview. But he obviously needs to do what Middendorp is doing, and he needs to start putting some results on his CV as opposed to just his tactical speak.
What now? One win in 8 games.
Obviously, they lost to Wits. They can't defend at the moment. I don't think it's not just the goalkeeper, although he seems to be getting most of the stick. I think the whole defensive system is all over the place. When they attack, they leave themselves so vulnerable on the counter. And for someone who's a tactical expert, or it certainly appears to be, it doesn't seem to be a structure there for how to defend. And maybe he should be given this international break to work with his squad, however many of them are left.
Well, he had the previous international break.
Yeah, he did. It's true, Mazola. But maybe he should have one more.
I think when I look at him, because if you don't get given the nickname Mourinho in the middle of nowhere by your peers for no apparent reason, and you're right, he talks the game. It's like sitting down with Tabosino. They really talk. They understand the current trends of football, what needs to be done. However, I believe at some teams you just need to have the buying of the players fully, not just some players, but fully have everybody buying into your philosophy. I think the idea of players getting trophies at training session, that is a good way to motivate the players and get them to focus and believe they can do it.
Yeah.
But to concede 6 goals in 2 matches, that for me was a worrying fact.
Yeah.
Especially how they conceded against Supersport and how they conceded against Benny McCarthy's side, almost similar fashion. How they conceded against Vets. In fact, the Vets game and the Supersport, there's the Vets game and the Vets game and the Benny game.
Yeah.
Those for me are the worrying one, because you can see similar trends on how to consider those goals against Vets, as well as when they played against Cape Town CDFC. Going forward, they look very good. They found the answer. I think Mabasa is one of the best buys they have at Toronto Pirates this season. But the defense, still the same frailties they had last season.
Yeah.
They just literally just brought it forward. And then Dell is not helping also, because he strongly believes in Dell. And goalkeeper is only as good as his defense.
Yeah.
He needs protection. He's not getting much protection. The goal that was scored by Cole Alexander, that would have left even anybody knocked out. That was a rocket.
Yeah.
Against Benny McCarthy's side, 3-2 up. You're just about to finish the game. What are you doing trying to attack?
Yeah.
You're 3-2 up.
Close shop.
Close shop. Why are you still trying to be fancy? Still trying to go forward and attack a team that is going to equally attack you? And I think that they made some poor decisions. And maybe, like John T saying, that he needs this the international break again to try and tighten up those loops. Because before, the goals that were scored before they went into the break. All the goals they conceded were now after the break, the first break.
Yeah.
So probably the second break, they'll realize, okay, now we can score goals. Let's look at how we defend and protect our lead once you have scored goals. I think, he's a young coach. He was sitting at Sundowns when they won the Champions League. He was there. He's been around, and I believe that he just needs to be given time, for him to eventually put his rubber stamp his own sort of footprint as to how he wants Pirates to play. Because they're not really playing much different from when Micho was there. The only difference is when Micho was there, you always had 3 coaches getting up and running. Now you have him as the head coach. What can you do?
We discussed this last week. I actually think he's changed a lot since Micho left.
I was about to say that was going to be my next question. Like, based on what you've seen so far with the team that's being coached by Rulani, what kind of football is he trying to play with this team?
He wants them to be more offensive. That's number one. That you have all seen.
Yeah.
He wants them to be more offensive. But the frailties at the back are still there.
Yeah.
The same frailties they had last season, where you saw... and we blame the goalkeeper.
They were better
there.
defensively with Micho.
With Micho around, they were much better. So I'm saying the defense needs to work out slightly better. Because remember, they always had that cover with Ben Motswari playing the man that covers there.
And he's been injured.
He's been injured. Games, Now they've had to bring in Olamlamu playing alongside Fortune Makaringe. Makaringe is a fairly new player. Sipesi Ndlovu just arrived. He's been slotted in to play like now. Musanyatama brought back to start playing as well. And they've signed all these players. Laminis. They've got so many players that are signed that are quality players.
Yeah.
But the cover to the defense is still there. You know, and Dengani, Happy Jelly combination is not working.
And I think that's another major concern as well. If you finished runners-up 2 seasons in a row, and you're going into a season where you are saying now we have to show something for it, and then you sign 11 players, what message are you sending? Yes, yes, you can argue Champions League football. They had thought maybe they would go further than the group stages, or they'd reach the group stages. Then you have to rotate, and they'll compete in all the domestic cup competitions. But they were knocked out of the Champions League before the transfer window closed. Why not loan some of the players? Because now there's competition for players for places, but there's so many players.
So much quality in the team.
And we don't doubt the quality, but how do you sign 11 players when you are trying to build momentum? So I think besides just the coaching change that's changed the whole dynamic, and Rulani obviously now as a head coach, he's got his own thoughts about how they should play, diverting slightly away from Micho. But at the same time, you have the other element of 11 new players being, I mean, Austin Moore was Zambian Footballer of the Year, and he can barely get a look in. Yeah, so
It's tough.
yeah. Anyway,
Welcome to Gauteng.
No, I just hope Pirates can turn it around, because they're an exciting team to watch, and you want them.
No. They really are. And I'd love to see another young South African coach being given a chance to stay there longer, you know.
Of course.
Mistakes are there in football. You know, let him recover, let him grow from his mistakes, and see what he can do going forward. And I mean, I love what Peter was saying when he was appointed. Peter was very happy to say, you know what, he deserves a chance. He deserves a look in, because he's been one of those underrated coaches.
The only
That's what he can do.
The only way that happens if the chairman Ivan Koza decides, you know what, we are writing off the season, just let Rulani do his thing. Let's see how far we can go. Let's hope he doesn't relegate us, because there is pressure. I mean, they haven't won a trophy in 5 years. You know, how much time can you give him? You know,
That's a problem.
So if the chairman just decides, look, I'm writing off the season, just go out there and prove yourself, and let's see, like he did with Eric, because he let Eric continue after VV left, and then after that, subsequent to that, he gave him a 1-year contract to say, let's see what you can do. And he pretty much wrote off the season, because Eric finished 11th, did get to the final of the CAF Confed Cup, but the domestic league was absolute shambles. And at the moment, in those 8 games that Rulani has been in charge of, I wouldn't go to the extent of saying absolute shambles, but it's not looked pretty, you know. But
Absolutely not.
yeah, but let's
City
see.
hurts.
But let's see.